High Calling Podcast, episode number 10. This is Landis Solar. One of my guys that I had on, I told him I was going to have on here for episode number 10. He told me that if I made it to 10, that's usually the number that people need to make it to actually make sure a podcast is successful. So Landis, one of my boys, an API, MMA fighter, father now, boxer, one of my top 5 guys I call whenever I need some encouragement. Helps me keep me locked in, shows me small stuff that I need whenever I need it most. What's up, Landis? How you doing, bud?
What's going on, man? This is episode 10, so you made it over that little hump, right?
Woo! Let's go, baby.
That's it, dude. You over that first hump.
Yeah. So, and I mean, like we discussed many a times, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Like I got a $12 microphone, I got a $13 camera, and I have a bunch of useless knowledge. And I know a bunch of cool people. So,
some definitions.
I know some definitions. So as long as the Lord will back me up on this thing, I'll be all right.
That's right, dude. Trial and error.
Heck yeah. So Landis, tell everybody a little bit about you, man.
So about me, I would say when you ask me that, I have to think about how I grew up, right? So I have ADHD, so I've kind of been always an energetic person, right? But I always had like determination and will and wanting to do stuff. And if I seen somebody do something, well, I would try to do it till I got it done, right? So like one thing would be like whistling with my fingers. My buddy did when I was young, man, and I went home until I was about to pass out and learn how to do it. Same thing with like juggling, Rubik's Cube. So I have some cool party tricks because I was determined to do things. I'm a lifelong learner, I would say, right? I don't like to be stagnant.
It's a good spot to be.
Even though sometimes I feel stagnant, right? Mm-hmm. I'm a lifelong learner, and I think that's who I am as a person.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. And I met you out there in 2021 at Exxon main train turnaround, and you was a young guy, young API, had a couple of certs, and just always trying to gain knowledge and show knowledge. And I was always the guy over there, Tyler B, drumming in the corner, making noise.
Making noise while I'm trying to focus on reports.
Doing what's important.
Yeah.
And I thought it was funny. You're like, Chad, how do I have 47 reports and you only got 3 all the time?
Went a whole 6 weeks and did 10 pieces of equipment.
Yeah, I do what I can. It's not much, but it was what I can do. Yeah.
Sometimes.
And the last time you see me, you made the comment. It's like, man, I could tell you just woke up from nights over there doing your podcast. I said, what did I have? A little cotton piece of T-shirt stuck in my mouth over there?
Well, you're always full of energy too, and I see you're kind of just sitting there like, but you're working through it. That's dedication, dude.
Man, I'm trying to do it, man, and I'm trying to do.
You inspire me with, as far as that goes, man. Is the discipline, dude. Like you're a disciplined guy. When I first met you, right, the cold showers. I did one this morning, by the way. So anytime I feel like I'm being stagnant, right, I punish myself. Cold shower.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say that you're a disciplined guy, dude, and I admire that for sure.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. And I need all the encouragement I can get, and nothing wakes you up like cold showers and burpees. So that's kind of what I was doing, and just trying to do that. So I appreciate me inspiring you because you do the same.
Yeah, when I'm in that cold shower, man, my old lady, one time, the first time I did it, she was like, she thought I was doing something else in there. I said, no, girl, I was taking a cold shower.
And dude,
I grabbed onto the walls and I just
like you're doing what is it, Lamas or whatever it is, the breathing techniques. And
yeah, dude.
In North Dakota, a cold shower hits a little bit different than a Louisiana cold shower.
Oh, I bet, dude. I bet.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in Colorado now, so that ground, that water coming from that ground is pretty cold.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Coming straight out the mountains, the cool Rockies, son.
That's right, dude.
Hey, the mountains are always blue in Colorado, aren't they?
I'm colorblind, dude. I don't know. A colorblind inspector. How you like
that? Well,
that?
I think that's where Coors Light comes from, Golden, Colorado.
Mm-hmm. Mountain's always blue.
Yeah, I actually got to take a trip up there. And August 1st, I'm coming up there to Denver for a couple of days.
Okay.
How far is that from you?
Denver?
Yeah.
About 40 miles. About an hour.
I might have to come see if I can check you out for a couple hours, bro.
Yeah, man.
Heck yeah. So, tell me a funny story about your life, man.
So I got two of them, right? So
Okay.
one funny story is when I first started MMA in 2014, maybe it was like September, I think, right? Um, the Crackling Festival in Port Barre, right? That's what the town's
Crackling
known for.
Festival.
Louisiana, they love their festival. So it's the Crackling Festival.
Of course.
Well, the president of the Lions Club, which is who puts on the Crackling Festival, didn't really like me. Some past history, whatever. So as the night goes on, I think I'm 18 at the time. He uh he tries to fight me, and I was like, no, I'm not fighting you. And when I was leaving, he walked up. He's probably 6'3". I don't know, the big old boy. He's like, anytime, anywhere. Well, I was like, well, screw it, right here, dude. He ended up trying to fight me, yada yada, and moved around. End up just choking him, bro. Put him to sleep. They were trying to pull me off of him. I was like, nah, put him to sleep. Cop stopped us. Well, I go to class, jujitsu the next week, man, and he was my professor's best friend. He didn't call my professor, told him to kick me out of class, dude. And I had to roll with
Oh,
my professor, dude,
jeez.
and
I'm
Lang Williamson.
gonna teach you a lesson.
Oh, and he did, dude, and he did. So that's one of my stories. The second one is kind of like it's not funny. It's kind of like I guess like Kevin Hart. I laugh at my pain, right? I don't
Absolutely. You
really
got to
regret
laugh at
anything
yourself.
that I've done in the past because they all taught me lessons. But I was working in Wyoming in 2018. I was married at the time. Used to be a lot, real rowdy, right? Fight a lot. Didn't do that anymore. I was a protector. So a guy that I was with, met him for the first time, was a coworker, got into it. And this was in my bar days, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got into it with this big old guy, and he was getting jumped. There was 5 people on one. If you ask me, I just choked out 2 people. But on paper, I beat up 5 people and a cop. That's what they told me I did on
My
paper.
man.
On paper,
You don't
Chuck
remember?
Norris ain't
You don't
had
remember none of it?
Chuck Norris ain't had nothing on me, dude. I'm telling you. I promise, dude. They
Yeah.
said I beat up 5 people and a cop.
Cool. Dude's
And
got a bearskin rug in
we
his
went to
living
jail
room.
for a few. We went to jail for a few days, right? And
Yeah.
my old lady committed adultery while I was in jail. So we ended up getting a divorce.
Wow.
So that was one of the hardest parts of my life, accepting that, right? Said I would never go to Wyoming again. Where if you fast forward to today, my current girlfriend is from Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
Met her. I went back to Rollins to the same place that I went. And if none of that would ever happen, I wouldn't be where I am today with my daughter. So just a crazy way that life throws at you, you know.
Wow. So you went back up to the Wyoming and found love,
Went
huh?
back to the place that I said I'd never go to again, and it took one person out of my life, and it put somebody else back in it.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
God
and
always has a plan, dude.
he does. He absolutely does. And everybody thinks that whenever you pass up an opportunity, it's gone, and really, it's just either passed on to somebody else. And everybody's always worried about the destination, but it's really just about the journey and all of the
Right,
relationships that you form along the way.
right.
So that's cool. So you went back up there to find love. That
I didn't go up there to find love. I came
no, no,
back up
no.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
You went up there for work.
the reason I had came up here, dude, that's a whole different story. I came up to Wyoming in 2019 because I lost my twit card.
So you needed a spot to get into.
I did a what they call a Port Barre triathlon, dude. I was
A
in my
Port Barre
truck.
travel.
I was in my truck and ran from the cops in my truck, dude. And so that's step one. Step two is jumping out my truck and running.
Is that
And I
is that how
ran.
the mafia from Port Barre
And
does it,
then
or what?
step three is I swam the bayou. I did this for 4 hours straight. They never caught me. And
Oh,
yeah,
Michael
dude,
Phelps, huh?
I was probably 21, 22. I've made some bad decisions in my life, but
Yeah,
I'm a better man for it today for sure.
absolutely.
But those are probably the top two that I remember the most.
That's good. That's the life changing moments, man.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But all those things happen, right? And
Yeah,
that put me in the position to where I'm at today. So
yeah, 100%. How I know you just had a baby girl a few months ago and everything. How was that experience when you had that baby girl?
when she was first born, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'm kind of
Mm-hmm.
like a little delirious. So it's like I didn't really get to take it all in initially.
Sure.
And then when we came back home, it was a lot. It was a lot of adjusting. But now, dude, these last couple months seeing her grow, it's amazing. You
It
know.
is, man. And I told you this already, but my first, she's 24 now, and we done had our first grandbaby. But a few years into having her, she just changed my heart, and I
Yeah.
got it tattooed on my heart because whenever
But
before you have kids, like you're so selfish. Everything is me, 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 me,
yeah.
me, me, and then after you have kids, it's just like, all right, it's not just about me anymore. It's about
Yeah,
something
and
that,
that's been the biggest adjustment I've been trying, as far as time management and readjusting to the current life that I have now.
yeah,
Because it used to just be me, dude, and now it's not.
yeah. God's got a plan for you. He needed
Yeah,
to
but
soften your heart a little bit, man.
but
You
she
seem like a
softened
better
my heart.
person for it.
Oh yeah, we had talked the other day, and I watched her that night, and she fell asleep while she was holding my beard, dude, and she she got me wrapped around her finger now. After that,
Oh, that's love right there, man.
that's it, dude.
Hey, and look, I've had girls and I've had a boy, and that them girls are they'll get you, man. They really will, man. And they just like
Well, I'm shooting for a boy
they
next go round, so we'll see.
sure, absolutely, man. You need one, a good balanced effort. Go to even score.
A boy like me though would
Yep,
drive my old lady insane.
yeah. What Yeah, you're gonna make a good daddy, man. I promise you, man. You sound like you're doing the right thing, man. You got love in your heart, man, and that's the way to go. So, you up there right now. You're working a little project and everything. What's it mean to be an API to you right now?
Right now or
How
initially?
important is that?
Being an
I
API
know initially
now,
it was very important to you.
yeah. So as you know, like you have to be in the industry for 3 years to get an API. So I took
Yeah.
my API exam, probably a week before I made 3 years, and everybody was hating on me. So I've been API since I was 21. Um, Used to
And
be a
that's
big
very
deal.
impressive. And if anybody who doesn't know that, it's American Petroleum Institute of Inspectors, and it's very impressive to have an
Yeah,
API cert by the time you're 21.
yeah. And now I currently hold four. It's my profession. It's what I'm good at. So the only thing that I would say I'm good at is um, MMA, the stock market, and inspection. Like that's where my knowledge kind of is. So it's like being an API inspector. I know I don't want to do it for the rest of my life. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But I'm not as passionate about it as far as what I'm doing now. But I'm good at it, right? So
Absolutely.
it's my bread and
Bread and
butter.
butter.
It's my bread and butter. I
Yes,
enjoy it
sir.
because there's a lot of problem solving in what we do. So I do
Yeah.
enjoy that aspect of it, and you still learn, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
code out there, so you don't never know it all.
Yeah.
But I'm
And I
in a good
mean, we were
position right
talking about,
now that I'm appreciative of, and I miss the turnaround circuits. I do miss that. I know they're not the same anymore, but that's what I was passionate about is turnarounds, and kind of still
yeah.
am. That's the side I enjoy the most.
Yeah. And I think that, like you said, or whatever, it's the problem solving stuff. It's be around a group of guys. And we went up to Mandan, North Dakota to help some guys out there. And they're not used to running turnarounds. So they got guys that do a turnaround and every 7 years, and we go up there running turnarounds a couple of times a year, and we're able to show them stuff that they don't see, and
Hmm.
finding stuff that they can't find. And it's kind of like there's a little sense of I don't know if it's pride or a little sense of accomplishment whenever you find some stuff that's wrong, and you might save somebody's life. You might find something that's out of compliance, and it's
Yeah.
pretty good whenever you are.
But they say like if you work 5 years of turnarounds, that's 15 years experience, dude.
Sure, sure. Yeah. So, what's the calling you feel on your life? You feel like it's the stock market, trading? What's the end
My
goal?
calling, my end goal. So once again, I'm a lifelong learner. So there is no real end goal. There's some goals that I
Hmm.
have, right? And that's to leverage the job that I currently have, which gives me freedom, right? Um, to
Sure.
take that knowledge into the stock market and perfect my the psychology of myself, because that's what I'm lacking in the stock market. I have the knowledge, but it's perfecting my emotions in the stock market. So that's what I'm doing right now. The end goal would be to work probably 50% less than what I do now. I would like to work 4 months a year. Um, Maybe even on the consulting side of things is kind of the end goal for me. But I guess you could say 50% of my income would come from inspection. Other 30% would come from the stock market, and then real estate would be the rest. That's kind of where my goal is right now, how I have it structured. Um, so right now I'm kind of just stacking money, still playing with the stock market, waiting for this housing market to crash. I know everybody that's in real estate says it's not. Um, the
Yeah.
technical
But
analysis
you
on
see it
things says
coming?
otherwise. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. The thing is with the
So,
stock market now is the stock market's it's overextended, dude. If you
yeah.
ask me and you ask some other guys, there's a guy named Ross Mandel. He used to be a um, a guy on Wall Street, ran his own firm and all this stuff. He thinks the same, right? Um, what they're
So do you
doing
think
is
it's like a big bubble right now?
well, this is what the government's doing is they're inflating that bubble because we don't have to talk politics here, but if the stock market crashed right now, the Democrats have a lower probability of getting back in office, right?
Mm,
So they're
okay.
pushing it up. The economy's good. The economy's good. After the election and all that, not saying right after the election, but you could say, I would say it's coming, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next year or
Uh,
two for sure. So I want to be prepared to jump on the real estate investing whenever that happens.
so you feel like so you got some money put on the side, and you feel like when this thing
Yeah,
crashes, you're gonna jump in.
yeah. That's
As
that's my
Rabelais would
goal.
as Rabelais would say, all the way to the hush puppies, huh?
All the way to the hush puppies, bro. So that's my goal, and maybe I'm wrong, dude. But I'm gonna be prepared if that opportunity comes that I can
Sure.
capitalize on that, and that would be that's kind of one of my
So
plans. But I have
you
another
do a lot
plan. I
of
can't really talk about the other plan. It's a business side of things and all that. I did open up an LLC for trading,
good.
LHS investments, where we make all your money come into memories because we lose it. No, no.
You got to get
So
that. You got to get that Neuralink, man. You got to get
yeah, so
that
I
programmer,
did
man.
the LLC for tax benefit purposes only.
Absolutely.
I'm looking into doing 1099 for inspection side of things because I did the math, dude. I'd save a lot of money, tax benefit wise, running things like I want to right now.
Sure. So
You're
you
talking 40, 50,000 a year just right there that the government doesn't get. Um,
sure. And is that through is that through your trading and stuff like that,
it's
or
going to be
what?
a combination of both things, right?
Okay. So you do a lot of momentum trading. So you
Yeah,
trade
so I'm
like
a
day trade and
momentum
stuff.
trader. Yes, I am.
So when did you realize that you actually had some type of talent in dealing with all of that stuff?
Dude, 2018, I had just passed my API 571. It was April of 2018. Somebody told me download Robinhood. I downloaded it so they can get a free stock. I got a free stock. They got one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I remember that night I was sitting in the bathtub looking at this stuff. And I love numbers, dude. So I'm just looking at these numbers. I'm like, this is interesting. And
You were like the Matrix over there, huh?
my grandpa had always told me, he's like, don't mess with the stock market. That's Chinese, like it's all gibberish to us. We don't know what to do. You give your money to somebody else, 401k, all that stuff. And when I saw that, dude, I fell in love with it. And right off the bat, I started doing research and spent $7,500 on this course. And I was
Mm-hmm.
married at the time. Shortly after that course is when the jail thing came along, and I was divorced. So I quit trading for a while because of that, right? But I
Right.
was spending a lot of time. Fast forward, dude, I've spent close to $20,000 on courses and mentorships.
Oh, really? So you did
Yeah,
pay for some courses in there.
but yeah,
Do you
so
recommend
seven.
doing that stuff?
Absolutely. Now there's a bunch of fake gurus out there,
Sure.
so you have to find the right ones. At one point, I was
Do you have any that you recommend?
so Tim Sykes is probably one of the best guys out there for well, actually, I would say Tim Sykes is one of the best out there. He's been doing this for probably close to 30 years. Um, but he has other mentors underneath him that are better than him. Jack
Wow,
Kellogg is
that's good.
probably one of the best traders out there that I know. There's
So
another guy, Stephen Ducks. Just depends what strategy. You have to find out what fits your personality.
So did they teach you to see stuff that you don't see, or did they teach you business strategies and trading
Oh,
strategies? How does that work?
it's a different world, Chad. It's complex. But I
Okay,
also
we'll,
took
we'll
another
do another
course in
podcast just on the trading strategy.
yeah, I took another course in California that I spent $6,000 on, and lifetime membership, right?
Nice.
$6,000. This is a totally different market called foreign exchange. I lost money in that. I
Okay.
probably lost, I don't know, about $10,000 of trading in that time
Mm.
frame in 2019. And lifetime membership for that guy's lifetime, he ended up ODing on fentanyl. So I was like, well, I didn't know it was
Jesus.
his lifetime. I thought it was my lifetime, you know? So lost out on that, but I did learn like basic stuff like market structure and stuff like that through those guys. And it was a good experience.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
There's no bad experience as long as you learn something out of it. That's what they say.
that's right, dude. That's right.
That's good. That's good. Um, what role does God play in your
God
life?
is so. So I have a tattoo on my. Well, I have Philippians 4:13 on my chest. Right. I can
Okay.
do all things through
Same.
Christ who strengthens me. My grandma
Yes,
never
sir.
lets me forget that. Right. I
Yes,
have
sir.
another tattoo that I got on my
It's a
arm.
good. It's a good one.
Yeah. I got another tattoo on my arm. And so it's like a storm, right? And through the storm, God will put you up on a high rock, and it's a
Come
mountain,
on.
right? So he's my rock, he's my foundation. Now I do struggle with veering away from that path, right? So
Yeah.
I'll pick up my Bible every now and then. And the thing is with me is with the churches nowadays, I don't feel like some of these churches, God's not really in there like I want him to be,
Well,
right?
God's
I
not
just
in the building. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I don't feel the Holy Spirit to me, right? Like in
Sure.
some of those
Sure.
places, um, some churches I do, but I feel like the churches nowadays they're more modern and they're trying to alter the Bible and the Scripture for to fit certain people so they don't offend anybody. And that's
100%.
what I struggle with right now in the area that I'm in, looking for a good church. Tried
Yeah.
out one, and it didn't really fit us. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm still spiritual, and I do need to read my Bible more, though.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing. As long as you find a spot to speak to the Lord, and you're able to
Right.
keep that relationship open and keep it in your heart. It's really not about a building or about religion and all that stuff. And like you
No, it's
said,
about your relationship with
amen.
with
Yeah.
Jesus. That's it.
Yeah. 100%, man. That's good, man. And I mean, I know we talked about that before, and it's just,
Yeah. And you're one of the people that keep me closer, on the path of the cross, right? I have a couple guys that I talk to, and some guys will send me Bible verses and stuff, and they bring me closer. And God, y'all in my life for a reason, right? You're
yeah,
not just there. Like that's one of the benefits that I get.
same here. Amen, brother,
Yeah.
man. I'm proud of you. You're doing good, man. And
Because
I see
like in
you.
our industry, dude, there's a lot of it's easy to veer off that path.
Yes, sir.
A lot of
There's a
cursing.
lot of
That's one
distractions.
thing that I focus on the most is not cursing, and
Yeah,
made my girlfriend self aware of that as well.
yeah.
That's
And
something easy you could do. You just make it a habit. That's it.
yeah, 100%. And I mean, I kind of got veered off course being on that last turnaround, and it's just
Yeah, dude,
I
it's
noticed
easy.
my mouth started to get out of
Mm-hmm.
hand because whenever you around a bunch of people and it's all day, bah, 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 it's just kind of like whoop, it just slips
Yeah,
out. You
dude.
know, that's good, man. It's good for you. Oh, what do you think about the whole social media thing right now and the way that everything's
Oh, dude, that's a,
portrayed? And
that's a big topic for me with social media. So Netflix has a topic on social media. Right now, currently, I hardly ever get on social media. Right, I would
Mhm.
say in 30 days, in a month, I might be on social media less than 10 hours total for sure.
That's good.
Now, have I I've been a victim to social media and been consuming it and addicted to it? Absolutely, dude.
Well, you're
There's been
younger than
times.
me, and like I'm old fashioned. I don't even know what Snapchat does, and you're a little bit younger
Right.
than me. So I mean, y'all
So you
kind of
got to look
grew
at your
up with
brain.
social media,
I look at my brain as a processor, right? Like a
right?
computer, right? If I'm always consuming this information of other people's lives, whether it doesn't matter if it's bad stuff. So you can look at it different ways. You have people that are addicted to negativity, right? That's
Hmm.
one bad thing about this world. People are addicted to negativity. Negativity will spread faster than positivity all day long, every day.
Oh,
somebody
dude,
gets shot, you know,
if
it's on the
somebody
news.
if somebody messes up, just think about how
Yeah.
fast everybody talks
So
about
you
it.
got to think like people's watching this negativity, and if you like it, your phone knows that you like it, so it's going to show you more of it, right? That's how the algorithms work. So now you're consuming negativity. That's the worst one. A different side of it is you could say, "Oh well, TikTok shows me all this good stuff." Okay, well, you can get on any social media right now. Every four things you see will be an ad. Guarantee you, 100%. Every four things you see will be an ad. So if it's free, you are the product. You're the product, right? So, and not only that is the TikTok shows you something new every couple seconds. So it's not good for your brain, right? Your brain's processing something new. You swipe something new. You swipe. So your attention span goes down dramatically.
Do you think? Do
I
you
could go
think
on about
that?
this for 30 minutes
Do
alone.
you think that social media and the way that instantaneous gratification is causing a
Well, so
hike
that's a
in
different side of it.
attention
You're talking
deficit
about
disorder?
no, so that's separate. So the instant gratification would be your dopamine rush, right? Um, the your brain processing something every 7 seconds. Even cartoons these days, the frames change every probably 2 to 3 seconds, dude. The more times the frame changes, the more engaging it is for the brain, more interesting. But it also makes something like simply reading a book harder to do because of your attention span. Now, the dopamine side of things, that like getting likes for posting something or seeing whatever you like to see, that's a separate side of it. Do you hear that?
I don't hear it. You got something
Oh, that
going
was
on?
that was an alert on the stock market. I had to close out
But do you think
my
that
charts.
by people swiping and TikTok and everything, it's increasing in the ADD rate on people, or no?
Yeah, it has a factor. The consume yes, TikTok is probably the worst. Yeah, that's definitely
Yeah.
has a factor in it.
So what do you think about old Trump?
Bruh, that video I seen Saturday, bro, he's like an old dog, bro. You can't put him down. He get shot here. He ain't scared, bro. You get shot here. He look. Come on with it.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't believe. I didn't think I'd be alive to watch a president get shot. And
Yeah, dude.
I mean, I hate to say it or whatever, but people that are trying to cause a change like that, that's the ones that actually get shot. Historically,
Well,
people that are
yeah. I mean,
trying
if,
to
if
change
you look at
something.
history, like history might not repeat itself, but history rhymes, is what they say, right?
Yeah.
So you look at all that stuff, and I'm not. I wish I knew more about history now that I'm older, but
They say that historians make the best stock investors, huh?
I do not know that. Who's they?
Yeah.
Who's they, Chad?
One of my history professors, Dr. William Robeson at Southeastern, he
Yeah,
said
he was a history teacher.
historically he said historically historians make the best stock investors
To be
because
honest, I don't take
you
advice from a history teacher. I mean, that's what they say, right?
well
Pay
he was
attention
on
to who you
Wall
listen to.
he had his own farm on Wall Street over there, so
Yeah, but he was still teaching, so I mean,
he wasn't doing that good.
yeah, I mean, hey,
What do you think the problem is with politics nowadays?
I don't get into politics because to me, I don't believe it matters, dude. I would say the main thing with politics is they try to separate people, right? As a
Right.
society, they separate society, so they target you. They play on your emotions. These people are super smart, Chad. They're always one step ahead of us. They know exactly what they're doing. They can say these people are stupid. Now, Joe Biden, yeah, I'm not saying his IQ is really high right now, but the people that are
Or
behind him,
awareness.
they're smart. I just think
Yes,
they're
they are.
corrupt and evil, man. There's a lot of evil in this world. You
Yeah.
know?
And I was sitting there listening to somebody talk about George Soros earlier.
And that's on both
And-
sides, dude. That's on both
yeah,
sides. Like when
of
you talk
course.
about it's all about power and money, and these politicians. And my buddy sent me this a couple weeks ago. All these politicians, they have to publicly state which stocks they buy. Here's the thing: people say, "Oh, well, if they do that, you can just buy the stock that they buy." Well, they don't. Some of these times they'll buy the stock, and they don't have to say which stock they bought till 30 days later. So there's a delay in it.
Sure.
But Republicans, Democrats, it don't matter, dude. They're making millions of dollars on this stuff.
Do you think they make most of their money by people donating or by stock markets?
By the stock market, 100%.
Because they know about the bills before they're going to pass, and then they can leverage their investments, right?
Exactly. I would say definitely investments, and I don't know what happens behind closed doors, dude.
It's kind of like Martha Stewart, you know?
Right? She went to jail. And she went to jail.
That's because she wasn't a politician. You know what I mean? If she was a politician, she'd be sitting pretty.
Yeah. Man, I said I just want one insider trade, dude. Just one.
Yeah, just one good one, huh? You know, you work into politics, and you make $150,000 a year, and you walk out of there $80 million later.
I know. And they don't
I'm
walk
done with
out.
the same guy stuff.
They never quit. They just stay in there.
Yeah. So how's your training going out there?
Training?
Yeah.
Like MMA?
I don't know. Tell me about it. I know down here you're staying pretty consistent.
Yeah, I haven't been consistent. So since my daughter's been born, like I said, I'm readjusting to prioritizing things. So I'm trying to juggle working, the stock market, MMA, and working out, right? And then my daughter and my girlfriend, right?
Sure.
So that's a lot of things I was trying to juggle. So I had to drop one. So I dropped MMA. I slowly stopped working out all the way. I'm working out right now about 3 days a week at the peak, and I try to train twice a week.
That's good.
So right before you called me, I went and did me a little stand-up session, boxing, hit my doubling bag, heavy bag.
Yeah. Little Domino's pizza, 30 minutes or
now,
less.
My buddy Logan did pass in 2 weeks ago, and I trained with him. He busted my nose, and then so he came up and we trained. But that's a lot.
Who's Sparrow?
I haven't trained. Yeah, Logan Spire. Yeah, I haven't trained jiu-jitsu in 4 months, but I've been training stand-up.
Yeah. Logan's a pretty good guy, man. I got to get him on the cast, man. We just got to get him a new phone, man.
He just won his BYB debut.
I did that, man. They said he took a short fight time and everything, huh?
Yeah. He needed 60 seconds. He hit that dude so hard he thought he got poked in the eye. He couldn't see. Dude said, "I'm done."
Terrible. That's it. Game over.
Dude. He is hard.
Heck yeah. That's cool, man. Yeah, because I tried to, like your recommendation, I tried to get him on a cast, but he tried to do it on his phone. He's got like iOS 4 operating system on his phone he's got, and then he's got a Google Chromebook, so he couldn't get on. But dude, I talked to him on the phone for a couple of minutes, bro, and I was just like, dude, I got to get you on the cast, man.
I mean, at this point, I'm just surprised he still has a phone. For a while, he hated social media. He didn't mess with it. I'm like, Logan, you kind of need social media like in your corner for certain.
Yeah.
You got to post and be active. So he kind of goes in and out with using it and not using it. But he's actually about to go to yeah.
I don't think you're supposed to say that, but okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I might trim that out. He said something about not wanting anybody to know he's going to. Apparently, he's got somebody following him, maybe the mafia or something like that.
Well, I mean, we're gonna probably get about 50 views on here, so I'll go with the odds.
Absolutely. So, what do you say to people that are looking to find their high calling or their purpose in life? What would you tell them, Landis?
I would say you have to understand who you are as a person. So my biggest trials that I faced in life put me in a position to crawl out from underneath that rock and to come up, I had to figure out who I was, right? Mm-hmm. And so I did a lot of digging on who I was, read some books. And the main thing I think of is being a positive person, thinking positive. There's a book called The Brain Switch by Dr. Carl Leaf, I believe is what it is. That book changed my life, right? She has 2 books, but that's the one that I read. And it's about, basically seeing it. If you're looking for a yellow car, you're going to see that yellow car. So if you're thinking negative, just like Think and Grow Rich, right? Whatever you think is so meaningful and powerful.
Oh, yeah. You have to, so Napoleon said you have to have a burning desire.
You have to find out who you are as a person, understand your mistakes, and work on being the best version of yourself. And the rest will fall into place. If you're working on being the best version of yourself, things will come into play, and then you'll know what to do. Whatever that calling may be.
Yeah.
But if you're not working to be the best version of yourself, how can you find that calling, right?
Well, the thing is, if you're not working on being the best version of yourself, like what exactly are you doing?
Right. To
Because
me, that's what living is, and that's my goal. And you hear all these other like successful people. The money doesn't matter. The whatever,
no,
it's always that chase. But being the best version of myself and knowing that I'm better than I was last year, and we all struggle, right? Like I feel like I was doing good these first couple months after my daughter. I'm readjusting, and I'm starting to come back over that hump again. Right? It just takes a little discipline.
it does. Well, in going through life, like, and I think we've talked about this before, like goal setting. You got to have short term, medium term, long term goals. And as you wander down the course, your goals are going to change because this is going to take priority. So right now, for you, your daughter's your most important thing in your life, and you're working everything else around and stuff.
Yeah, and then I would say, and I have you to thank for this, is the journaling thing. So I journal all my, as far as stock market stuff, I journal
Good.
every day, every morning. I miss some days. I do miss some days.
Sure.
But journaling, so your thoughts is, the number one thing, controlling your thoughts. But if you can
Right.
put your thoughts on paper,
Yeah,
it helps
you can get them out of there.
It helps you take control of that processor.
Sure.
Right? And then you can take control of your life and find that calling.
Well, the Bible says you have to take your thoughts captive because your thoughts, if they're just rumbling around in your head, you're sitting there worrying about 99 things. And guess what? 98% of those 99 things are not going to happen. So you have to take those thoughts captive, write them down, and be like, hey, this is not the direction I'm going in.
Yeah.
That's good. So you've been journaling?
I'm not a big person that worries a lot about things because I guess I never really have. Like, I don't care what people think about me, and I don't stress a whole lot. But I don't know if that's just my personality or that's, working on myself to be better. I think it's a little mixture.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
Because I used to get agitated. I used to be kind of a hot-headed young guy, and I've worked on that.
I remember.
Yeah. Yeah, you wasn't around when I was at the
No,
peak, but
I knew you were very passionate,
yeah.
and you got kind of excited.
That's the thing, and that's me worked on myself, right? And but I've gotten better, and I'm getting better with age.
I remember you came back into the BRM that one day over there at Exxon, and that guy was telling you about, we just put the cover on the exchanges. Like, you put the wrong cover on the wrong exchanger. You are not. I'll be back. He said, yeah, it's fine. And you come back, he walked in there, and you was in the code. He's like, no, this is what the code says. You are wrong, Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, he was a good
and I
guy.
just love
He was
it.
a good guy, but that's just
He
what
was.
happens,
Yeah, I was
30
just
days,
like,
7,
my
12s.
boy Landis was on a hunt, boy.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys do up there in Montana, right? Like, as far as like getting out and stuff like that.
Well, I'm not sure what they do in Montana. I'm in Colorado.
Colorado, I'm sorry. You was in Wyoming and then you went to Colorado. My bad. What do y'all do up there?
You talking about for entertainment?
Sure.
Like, man, I don't really do a whole lot. I sit behind my computer and look at the stock market a lot. I bought a snowboard, bought a season pass.
How's that going?
Went 4 times.
Yeah.
Didn't get my money's worth, so I won't do that again. I went riding the mountains. I rented a slingshot this past weekend and went riding the mountains with a couple buddies. They have motorcycles. So that was fun. I'd like to do more hiking. We said we was going to do that, but we don't
Having
do it.
A child kind of sidelines it for a bit, huh?
Yeah, but I'm fine with that. My best friend lives with me. So we hang out. We live in a nice neighborhood, so we go on walks. We go to there's a pool nearby for the community. We take the dogs to the lake. I probably need to do that more often.
Yeah.
But
Relaxing,
I work,
man.
go to work out, watch the stock market, and that's it, really, dude. We don't really hang out with people, which I'm fine.
And at Charles' age and relationship and with children and stuff like that, that's the most important thing is building those bonds and taking care of what's important.
Right. Well, also like hanging out with people and always hanging out with friends, that's not going to bring me closer to where I need to be, you see. So
Sure.
just trying to stay on the path, dude.
Yeah, family is very important to you right now, huh?
Yeah.
What does it mean to you right now?
Well, it's everything. I would say it is everything, but I've learned to love myself. That way nobody can take that away from me. So say if the same situation happened again, which I know it won't, then I know I'd be okay. But I mean, having your best friend, like they kind of keep you grounded as well, right?
Hmm.
Like I was missing that part of me, and Samara, she taught me how to love again, which I can't thank her enough for that. So that's
That's
something that I was
wonderful.
missing. So now I kind of feel like I have everything, dude. It's kind of like I'm living a little dream right now.
That's good, man. I'm glad to see you happy right now.
Yeah. I didn't think those
So
cards were in it for me anymore, you know. I kind of
no, well, I
accepted
mean, the
it.
bad thing is whenever you get your heart hurting, it's a rough thing because your heart is one of the most powerful things you got, and you got to protect it at any cost.
Yeah.
But when it gets hurting, you want to lock it up. But if you keep it locked up, you can't ever experience that love again. So
That's
I'm
right.
glad
And
you.
I had built up a wall, didn't even know I had one until we started
Oh
kind of
yeah.
talking. She had a wall built up that I was trying to pull down, and it made me
Hmm.
realize I had one too.
Absolutely. And
But
I mean, you eventually develop a callus, and it's hard to take that callus off of there.
yeah.
But if you never do and you never open yourself up, you can't experience that, man. So yeah, I'm proud of you, man. That's wonderful. You went up there for a job, and man, you found love and
It took
found.
3 years. Now when I met her and nothing happened. I actually stood her up to go snowboarding back in 2019.
Uh
She
huh.
doesn't remember, but it took a full 3 years, and nothing happened. Met her a couple times, and then I was coming back up here, and she randomly hit me up, and
That's cool.
that's it.
That Louisiana, that Cajun boy. What's that Cajun boy? You been cooking up there or what?
Uh, Not often, man. So this is what I did. I don't like to cook. I like to cook outside, you know.
Hmm. Barbecue.
No, in a pot, you know. I like that little pot. Like make a little gravy.
Okay, you
Cook a
got your
little
black pot
squirrel
up
and
there?
sausage. Huh?
Yeah. You got a black pot up there?
Yeah, dude.
Come on.
But so what I did was I bought my old lady a Cajun cookbook for Christmas. Here you go, baby. Cook me
Uh
some of
huh.
that. Cook me some of that,
Yeah.
Shy.
Does she cook or what?
Yeah, she cooks some stuff out of there.
Okay,
So
good.
yeah, she cooks a lot. I don't like to cook. To me, I guess because I'm ADHD, I just feel like I'm stuck in the kitchen, cooking, stuck in the kitchen. I got other stuff to do, dude.
That's right.
Uh,
Good deal. What? So, what is she? What's her best dish up there?
Her best dish, so she's half Latina. She likes enchiladas. That's her favorite dish.
Chicken or cheese?
Beef enchiladas.
Beef enchiladas. I bet it's good, huh?
That's her number one dish that she enjoys to cook.
That's good. Yeah, we was up there in North Dakota, and we tried to look for a place that had smoked sausage up there, and it was kind of like the only smoked sausage that they had was kind of like fresh sausage, and they were smoking a cigarette while they were kind of mixing it or something like that. It was horrible, man. So it was just kind of hard finding Cajun supplies up there.
Yeah.
How bad is it up there?
Well, so my neighbor, he's from South Dakota or North Dakota. I don't remember which
Hmm.
one. But we got to
Yeah.
talking, and I gave him some jambalaya mix, and then and I think I gave him some boudin balls. So in
Okay.
return, he gave me some deer sausage, and my grandpa's deer sausage is superior to his. Right, his deer sausage was still good, but it don't have that flavor.
Do they smoke it up there, or like a
His
hard
was
smoke?
smoked. His was
Yeah.
smoked. It wasn't a
Yeah.
hard smoke, but
Yeah.
his
Because
was smoked.
apparently smoked sausage up there is way different than Louisiana. Apparently we
Yeah,
overdo everything.
yeah.
Yeah. So, what's one thing that you should be doing that you're not doing right now that can make you better?
Um, so I'm veering off the course. So there's a lot of things that I should be doing. Depends what we're talking about. Um,
Hmm.
I've been waking up early every morning, taking a cold shower most mornings. What I should be doing is working out, doing weight training or some type of training in the morning is ideally
Hmm.
what I think will work best for me. Um, I'm not reading enough, so I think I need to be reading more because my goal is to read 12 books this year, which is not a big goal. That's a big goal for me.
Hmm.
So that's another thing
I
I need
think
to
that
be
I think
doing.
that's 10 pages a day.
Yeah, yeah. But it depends on the book size, all that stuff. But yeah, 10 pages a day minimum. I would like to read 30 minutes a day. I'm not a fast reader, so maybe that is 10 pages.
That's right.
So training more. I need to be more into my fitness. I need to be more mentally, which would be reading, spiritually as well, right? Maybe read my Bible every night and read the scripture, praying more. Because,
Sure.
everybody likes to pray when everything's going bad. But things are going
Right.
good, you need to as well, right?
Yeah.
And then with the stock market, I need to stick to my rules, right? You have what's called a trading plan prior to entering a trade based off of probability and everything. There's a lot of things, factors that go in, but you make a trading plan and you don't typically veer from that trading plan. Now, in this market, you have to adapt. So the market's a little hot right now, which is good. So instead of making, you say 20% on a trade, I could potentially make 50%, 80%. So I'm adjusting that, but I need to stick to a plan. Previously, when I would stick to a plan, I would make 10% and the stock would go up another 100% and I'd miss out. So I'm trying to adapt.
Sure.
But I need to stick to a plan, make a better plan, execution.
Who who do you follow, like as far as trading advice and stuff like that, or do you already have the rules in hand?
Trading advice, I don't typically like to follow anybody because influence affects my personality, right? I, I could, I'm self-sufficient by myself. Now, I am part of a Tim Sykes millionaire course that I have a lifetime membership to that. So I do watch their webinars a couple times a week and like to kind of see what they're looking at to see if I see the same thing. But a lot of times I don't pay attention and they may be looking at the same thing I'm looking at, right? So I do have some buddies that I talk to about the stock market all the time, and I would say that their influence affects me negatively, right? So I don't like to have too much
They got
influence
terrible
in.
advice, but I still talk to
Yeah, I
them.
don't like to see too much influence in the market because there's so much going on. There's plays everywhere.
So what are you primarily interested in? Do you try to trade crypto? Do you try
So
to
right now,
trade
so
NF?
I'm a momentum trader. I'm big bullish in crypto. I'll get that from the jump. Since 2019, I've been bullish. So there's a
Okay.
couple crypto. I don't trade cryptocurrency anymore. I trade stocks that are related to crypto. So MARA, which is Marathon, is a crypto one.
Right.
RIOT is a crypto one. These are both up in the last couple weeks. BTBT is another one. I've made some good money on this year.
And so
BTBT is a cheaper one. It's about $4. I think crypto is going to be up at the end of the year another 100%. Maybe not 100, at least 25, 30%. But so I'm a momentum trader. Right now, AI is hot and EV is hot, right?
dude,
2018, in
Nvidia blew up, huh?
2018, weed was hot. Then you had the biotechs with the COVID stuff was hot. So biotechs are kind of hot right now with certain things, but AI and EV is hot because of Tesla, Nvidia, and they're
Sure.
both like you have an EV company, they'll come out with a PR press release about some AI stuff implementation. And so if if all the factors are there for a high probability setup for me, I don't like to trade the first green day. Like if a stock say is $1 and then you wake up that morning and it's $2, I like to trade it that first day because the odds aren't in my favor, right? It doesn't fit my personality. I like to let it see what it's going to do. Maybe I will trade it, but I like to buy it at the end of the day for a gap up the next day. That's where I find most of my success. Or it goes up to $2, 100%, and it retraces to $1.50, and it stays at that $1.50 for a couple of days, and it starts to go sideways and build a support level. Then I'll enter at the end of a day and try to catch that gap up. And if it breaks high, if it gets enough, won't get too deep into it, but if it gets enough volume and stuff, the probability of breaking the previous high is good, right? 80%
Yeah.
or so. And so that's kind of what I like to do. I don't like to do what they call window shopping, which is when something's up pre-market. Everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, this stock's up 200% pre-market." When market
That's what I
opens, they
do.
just dump it on.
I sit there and lose everything.
Yeah, so if you look up like biggest percent gainers, they'll all come up, and some of them will go up, but most of the time they'll just drop it on them. Boom, and those are
Yeah.
pumping
So
numbers.
primarily overnight is whenever a stock's going to make its most money, huh?
No, that's what I'm best at, right? I've tracked all my trades and looked at a couple strategies. So you don't only want to play a couple strategies. If I find myself playing too many strategies, I start to end up breaking even, right? I start getting 50-50. And
Yeah.
I don't like to be at 50-50. I like to be at 60 to 70.
What cryptos do you try to trade, or you just trade primarily the
So
ones
back in the
that,
day,
or
Ethereum was my number one trader.
do
First
you
time I
still
ever
trade
traded.
Ethereum
No, so I just trade the stocks related to
related to
cryptos
them?
because they're gonna move. Like if Bitcoin goes up, the stocks that I told you about, they'll go up as well, right?
Okay.
So I can predict. I can do the technical analysis fits better on the stocks I find than on the cryptos. It's
What about
better to
all the
find. It's better to find an entry, is what I'm getting at.
I got you. What about all the NFTs and all that other stuff?
I don't get into that.
Yeah, because I don't understand all that stuff. I'll be
I
honest
don't.
with you.
Yeah, I don't. The NFT stuff, that to me was a big scam. That so anything that have value, there has to be it has to be scarce, right?
Sure.
How can an NFT that's an image of something be scarce? Because it can be duplicated. I can screenshot it. There's
Right.
nothing that's it's not encrypted. Like how do you, and it ended up being a scam, dude.
Right.
All those NFTs with the whatever they were, the way that they were selling it to give it value was you buy this NFT and you get access to this special group.
And
Is
it's
how
just
they
like
were
a
selling.
picture, right? They're just
Yeah,
like, and
right. So
it's like
that's
a
and when people start to realize they weren't really valuable, they started saying, well, if you buy like the what's the big the some apes, the boring apes, I think is what they were or
I
whatever they
don't
were.
know that. Like I never
They were
understood all that
saying that if you
stuff.
buy this, and they were selling them for like $1 million, dude, then you get
Yeah,
access into this digital world. Like they was getting crazy with it, dude. I don't understand.
dude. And I
I understand. Like whenever I tell you what, this is when I became a bullish in crypto. Whenever Lamborghini started accepting Bitcoin to buy a Lamborghini.
right.
If
You know it was
Lamborghini
good,
says,
huh?
"I'll take your Bitcoin," yeah, it's good.
Yeah, that's whenever it became widely accepted. And the funny thing is, we was out there at Formosa, and I heard the quote saying one time, whenever your shoe shine guy starts giving you advice about the stock market, it's probably time
Yeah,
to get out the market. And it was just
exactly.
like everybody, the text, the APIs,
So
everybody was buying crypto.
you remember when GameStop was doing its thing?
Oh yeah, that was right about the same time.
Yeah, I made ridiculous money in 2021 on that. I say ridiculous money, more money than I made being an API. Well, it's
So
happening again.
am I
It started
talking a
happening.
millionaire right now or what?
No, heck no, dude. I wish you wouldn't be talking to me, dude. I wouldn't have
That's
answered your
right.
call.
I'll be on an island somewhere.
Higher calling. You better call somebody else.
That's right.
So what's happening again right now? All
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. I think GameStop might have touched $30 today after hours. But
Really?
so it started happening. I know April for sure. I think it was around April or March, and I made close to 30 grand that month, and I lost
Okay.
I lost half of it being aggressive.
I
Me and my
got you.
buddy both, but he was influencing me. He's like,
Is it rocket ship
"Oh
to the
yeah, dude,
moon?
hold it, hold it." We was up. I was up like 26 grand one night, and we held it. I'm like, he's holding. He's up more than me. Next night it dumps on us. But I got aggressive, right? I got
Yeah.
aggressive, but the thing is I was okay with those risks. I was okay with risking $15,000 to make 150, you know,
Sure.
and that was kind of where there was at. I knew it didn't fit my trading style, and everything went against what I
Right.
know how to trade. But I know I missed out last time in 2021 in May. I made 10 grand in one day, and if I'd have held it, I made 100. Yeah.
That's crazy, huh?
So all those things, that's what I'm saying, the emotions and regulating all that stuff
And
and
that's the
not worrying
thing
about,
is,
you don't want to hit home runs. Base hits, compound interest
sure.
is, making 20% of your money, 50%, letting your winners run. So what I typically like to do is if I buy, say 1,000 shares of something, and it goes up 50%, I'll sell 700, depending on what the setup is, 700 shares and let the rest of the 300 ride. And if,
Right.
and then
See what
try
it
to cut my
does, huh?
loss at my entry. Yeah. That way.
Yeah. And I
Something
mean,
like that.
I've
So that's
never
what I'm
hit
saying
any.
as far as game plans go is scaling out. And anyway, there's a lot to it, dude.
That's good, man. And I'm still trying to learn. I started learning on that stuff, in
So look,
probably
this is the book.
19.
This is a good book, dude. So this guy named Tim Bowen. It's called Technical Analysis Using Multiple Time Frames, right? It's
And that's a
by
stock book.
Brian Shannon. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just started reading it, but he says if that book costed $7,500, he would buy it.
Really?
That's how much knowledge is in it. Yeah, and it's gonna be good for a beginner because it's gonna teach you basic technical analysis and market structure, right?
So
And
that's
if you
what you
don't know,
recommend to anybody that's trying to learn how to get into the market.
well, you got people that do fundamental analysis and you got people that do technicals. To me,
Mm-hmm.
technicals outweighs fundamentals any day of the week because it doesn't matter. Fundamentals don't matter to stocks, dude. 3 out of 4 stocks follow the main stocks in the market: the S&P 500, the Dow Jones, your big blue chip stocks. So your fundamentals, if a company's losing money, that company can still run, 50% up. It doesn't matter. Knowing the technicals definitely benefits you. So I would say if anybody wanted to learn, if you're in the stock market losing money, or if you're interested in the stock market, understanding market structure, you have to know it.
Okay.
If not, you're just guessing.
Okay. Is that your best advice to somebody trying to figure out the market?
Yeah, absolutely. If you read that book, and if after you read that book, if you're still interested, then maybe it's for you. If you read that book and it's boring or you don't really find it interesting, you might just want to stick with I don't know,
Your day job.
or just guessing, just throwing money and gambling.
Yeah.
So everybody thinks stock market's a gamble, dude. It's really not. As long as you could risk management, right, and your probabilities, you could get those right, dude. You can be wrong. You could technically, the numbers add up. You could be wrong half the time and still make money. If your risk reward ratio is 3-1, right, meaning I'll lose $100 or I'll make $300, right?
Mm.
Well, basically, I could be wrong 3 times and be right once and still even out, right? So I could be wrong more times than I'm right, and still, it's not that easy, It's easier to say that 3-1.
Sure.
But in other words, you can be like, I'm right 65% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Is what I end up being. Should be more, but that's just the way the numbers fall. Some of the ones that I'm wrong on, I'm still right. I just don't execute them right, or I pull out too early, and then it goes the other way every time.
That's good enough to stay in the game, huh?
Well, I count those as losses, right? But anyway, yeah.
Good deal. So you done made it out Louisiana. And
Yeah, so I knew, like we talked about before, being positive.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like where I grew up in a small town, a lot of negativity, closed-minded people. Everybody on the weekends hung out and drank. And everybody wanted to fit in and be the same. If you were different, then you were weird, right? I embrace when somebody calls me weird. I embrace that. And I've always got along with all kind of people. So like people that my friends would say were weird, I would enjoy talking to those people. So I realized that I didn't want to be in Louisiana. I knew that since I was 18 years old. And
right.
That's why I started traveling, working turnarounds and traveling the country. Because I was a gypsy. I didn't know where I wanted to be. And every time I'd come home, I would miss home. But every time I'd come back home, everything was still the same. People always say they want to leave that small town, but they never leave. I do like I like the food in Louisiana, friends and stuff, my family, my grandparents mainly, my godchild.
Yeah.
And the fishing. But other than that, dude, I don't like the small town thing. It's not for me. I don't want to see Billy Joe at the dollar store and have to talk to him for 15 minutes.
So,
you know what I mean?
What's your recommendation for people that are struggling over there in Louisiana? What's your recommendation for them?
You got to be positive. Well, you got to want it for one. First off, you got to be conscious about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you feel like you're stagnant? Do you feel like your friends? Oh, I'm drinking every weekend. Every time on the weekends.
But there's a festival, Landis. There's a festival.
Oh, but we cooking over there at Bobby Joe's. We're cooking a little gumbo.
Yeah.
You know?
They're having the crackling festival. They're having that rice festival.
And that's that lifestyle that you become, it becomes a habit, right?
It is.
That's what
It
you end
really
up doing
is.
on the weekends, and that's just not where I want to be. And which is fine, but those people, they get around, they talk about negativity, bro, for the most part. And so understand who you are as a person, right? And if you're happy with who you are, then make that gumbo with Bobby Joe.
That's right. It's probably going to be a good gumbo too. You know what I mean?
Hey, save me a bowl, I'll give you my address.
That's right. Heck yeah. That's it. Biggest sense of accomplishment so far for you, brother?
Accomplishments. Well, through my journey, there was different accomplishments. Take a API exam. My 510 when I was 21 was my first accomplishment. Passing my 571 at 22, which is the youngest API that I am aware of, and a lot of people have told me is the youngest API to ever do it. That's the hardest exam they have. That would be my second accomplishment. Becoming successful in the stock market, because 90% of traders lose money. In October of 2020, I became profitable, made all my losses back. I'm not saying I don't have months where I'm negative, because I would be lying, but my profits outweigh the losses for sure. That's another accomplishment. My daughter, for sure. My girlfriend, Samara. Those are definitely two big accomplishments for me.
That's awesome.
I lived in a camper for 10, this doesn't really, I don't count this as an accomplishment, but I've been living in a camper since since 2016.
Just you, the camper, and the dog, huh?
Yeah, dude. And upgraded campers. I lived in a nice camper, but now I'm living in a house, dude. So it's kind of an accomplishment for me. I wouldn't do this for myself, but because of my family, I had to get a house.
Absolutely.
So that's an accomplishment. But I still have a lot of goals out there, man. I don't really feel like I've accomplished much from where I want to be. Now, I did get an LLC for trading. That's something that I had said I was going to do for a couple of years, never did it. So that's a goal. I need to hold myself accountable, and I make a lot more accomplishments.
Well, I think it was Dr. Peterson that said you got to have goals in life. You got to have a North Star.
That's right.
That you can move towards. And whether, it's the Lord, whether it's your goals or whatever, you're moving towards something. And it's going to change as you go, but you're still moving down that road. So I'm real proud of you, brother.
Change.
Yeah. And but I appreciate you, man, helping me out. And I mean, what you think about the podcast so far, man?
Oh, you made it over the hump, dude. That's all that matters. Keep on chugging along.
Yeah, and I appreciate you encouraging me from time to time, because I don't know how to do this. I have any idea how this is going to work, but I appreciate whenever I call you. And I love what you told me that one time. It's just like, I said, I don't know who I'm going to talk to and what I'm going to talk about. He's like, you're just practicing, man. Don't worry about it. All these people you're just practicing with.
Yeah, we'll get 100 views on this, maybe, dude. I say we go for 101. Hopefully we get 101 views. My girlfriend says she's going to find you. She's like, I'm going to look up Chad's podcast to find this one. I ain't telling you his name.
That's right.
She'll probably watch it 5 times.
Yes.
What did you say about me?
That's right. That's right. That you are the wonderful woman, man. You're doing it. You done found your heart, man.
That's right.
Yeah. Shout out to you, my brother. You got anything you need to plug or anything?
Nah, I'm good, man.
Hey, man. Well, shout out to you, man. I appreciate you, Landis. I appreciate you coming on here, man, and giving us some good information.
Once you come up here, dude, maybe we'll go to the gym together.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, last time we got together was out there in Flint Hills. You was training with Bonema, and y'all was boxing, and we was over there training jiu-jitsu in somebody's
on the carpet.
On the carpet in somebody's living room, kicking the walls and the doors.
Hey, you got to get it in, dude.
Hey, the funny thing was sitting there joking about the people downstairs. They're like, oh, my God, I wonder what the heck they're doing up there. So we got to get in when we can.
Yeah, dude.
But Higher Calling Podcast, I hope you enjoyed what Landis said. Hopefully you find some stock advice that's good for you. And, hope Landis is finding his higher call, and I'm trying to find mine, and hopefully you find yours. Thank y'all. Appreciate it, Landis.
Yes, sir. Take it easy.
Later.